Hello everybody, Josh12 back here again with another video, and today I have a brand new top 5 list. It's been a while since I've done a top 5, but it's even been longer the last time I've done a top 5 worst list. Seeing as how Dragon Ball Super is coming to a close this year in March, you know what? Instead of focusing on what is currently going down, which is the Tournament of Power, let's talk about the saga and arc that established not only the quote-unquote first original Akira Toriyama story in this series, but also established and set the stages for what would inevitably be the Universe Survival arc and the Tournament of Power, which is of course the Universe 6 tournament, the Champa arc. I'm here to talk about the good, the bad, and the complete horribleness of this saga, which will of course contain episodes 28 all the way down to 46. I'm going to be talking about all my personal thoughts and hatred towards the worst episodes of this saga, and then of course next week I'll focus on the best episodes of the saga. But overall, if you've yet to see any of these episodes, this will contain spoilers of these episodes, so of course if you're not caught up with all your Dragon Ball Super content, I will be talking a lot about this. Also keep in mind that this is my list, my personal thoughts, so if you think there are episodes even worse than the ones I'm about to mention, please in the comment section below let me know what your list is of the top 5 worst episodes of the Dragon Ball Super Universe 6 Tournament Saga. But with that being said, let's get into this list. Coming in number 5 has to go to episode 30, titled A Run Through for the Competition Who Are the Last Two Members? Now basically this is essentially the recruitment episode of Majin Buu and Piccolo, and possibly even Gohan, which is an interesting concept that would never actually be executed properly until 2 arcs from now. And in the concept, it feels like a pretty interesting episode to go off on. But regardless of any of that, basically, this episode just stinks on ice. There's nothing really great about this, except for 2 things. 1, a Nico Majin manga reference, and 2, a very, very vague Oob reference. Other than that, everything else in this episode stinks on ice. It's terrible, it looks terrible, it sounds terrible, it's set up terribly. It's just horrible on every single feasible level. It's just not fun, it's not entertaining, and it's just terrible to look at. Everything that could be cool in this episode is done terribly, but done even better in the next couple arcs, which is the Tournament of Power. Hell, even that Saga has a better Oob reference. But with that being said, let's get into number 4 on this list, which has to go to episode 34, which is titled Piccolo vs. Frost, Stake It All on the Special Beam Cannon. Now overall, I was really looking forward to this episode. This is the big Piccolo moment, and I really feel like that was a missed opportunity. But not only that, everything about this episode's a missed opportunity. After the big surprise of Goku losing against Frost in the previous episode, you really have to come into terms as to, wow, anything can really happen in this tournament. Unfortunately, everything that does happen stinks on ice. Frost just comes out to be another fake-out villain character, which really sucks because I really like the concept and idea of a good guy Frieza from an alternate universe. Not only that, he's a cheater, which even makes it worse. It's so terrible this episode. I mean, the fight between Frost and Piccolo stinks. It's not really that great to look at, and on top of that, Goku gets to get back into the tournament, which I love. I love that idea. I love the fact that, considering Frost cheated with his previous fights, that everybody who lost against him gets to be reinstated into the tournament. However, did they really have to cuck Piccolo by just being like, hey, you know what? Vegeta's gonna take over. Sit down, dummy. Moving off of that, going to number 3 on this list has to go to episode 40, titled A Decision at Last. Is the winner Beerus or is it Champa? Basically, this is the climax to Goku and Hit's epic fight in the previous episode, which is episode 39. And I personally loved episode 39. Episode 40, however, there's nothing great about this episode, mostly due to the fact that, in concept, this episode could be great. It's the climax to a fight, and every end to a story needs to be awesome. However, this completely shits on everything that could be cool about a Goku and Hit fight. I mean, in the previous episode, you re-established Kaioken, Goku and Hit are just going at each other's throats. Hit is like, upgrading his time skip every 5 seconds. It's just an amazing moment to see these characters go all out. And in this episode, it opens up the idea of something really cool, which, ironically enough, that Toei Animation would have to recorrect in a following arc, which is Goku and Hit going all out using kill moves. This is something I really wish they could have done in this episode, but they don't. Basically, Hit is holding back because he's an assassin, and majority of his moves are assassination moves, so he can't really use them in a tournament setting. Unfortunately, instead of going all out with that concept, Beerus and Chopper are just going at each other's throats. It's just, I don't know, there's just nothing, it's just terrible. It makes me want to pull my hair out of my head. It's just so god-awful. Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken against Hit's time skip was awesome. How can you fuck that up? But of course, moving off of that, going to number 2 on this list has to go to episode 44, titled The Seal of Planet Potafu, Secrets of the Unleashed Superhuman Water. Of course, if you're a hardcore Dragon Ball Super fan, you knew this was coming, the beginning of the Potafu arc. For all intents and purposes, if you ask any Dragon Ball Super fan under the sun, they will tell you that the Potafu arc is basically the worst arc in all of Super. It's really just god-awful. It's terrible. It's terrible. Don't ever watch it. And ironically enough, this episode kind of sets up something cool. And when it comes down to it, this episode just stinks. I mean, like, the planet sucks. The characters within the planet stink. I mean, I had more fun watching Beerus and Whis travel the universe before the Battle of God saga. I mean, that was way more entertaining than anything that happens in all the Potafu arc. I mean, Goten and Trunks, I'd like to see them do things, but I want them to do interesting things, not something boring and crap. Monaka, I don't really care about him farther beyond than what we got to see of him in the previous episodes. And when it comes down to it, Superhuman Water and the copy people, it's just so half-assed, and it's very bothersome when you watch it. It's very boring. And it gets even worse as the episodes continue. But with that being said, I want to mention that I won't be putting any honorable mentions into this list because I don't want to give any spoilers or teasers for what could end up being episodes that I choose for my top 5 best episodes in the top 5 best episodes of the Universe 6 tournament next week. So keep that in mind. I'm going to skip the honorable mentions. While skipping them, get into the top number 1 spot into this list of the worst episode of the Universe 6 saga. It definitely has to go down to episode 45, which is titled Vegeta Disappears, Menace of the Duplicate Vegeta. I really don't like this episode, and it's really the worst episode because it does everything stupid. It has a copy Vegeta, or as I like to call him, Vegello, because that's basically what he is. He's Vegeta made out of gelatin. It's just terrible. This whole arc sucks, and the only reason I didn't put episode 46 is because at least it ends the stupid saga, and on top of that, it sets up the future Trunks saga, which is far superior to anything that happens in these 3 episodes. But yeah, it just sucks. It's just a reason for Toei Animation to do another Goku versus Vegeta fight that has zero substance and zero interest because it's not even really Vegeta, and for some reason it's an actual threat. And you have Vegeta in the sidelines like cheering on his copy version, which is dumb, and then he starts to disappear and it's like, what is this? It's just nothing. It's a nothing story with nothing fights. And what this saga should have been is basically what the previous episode was trying to set up, which is a Goten and Trunks space adventure. And in this episode, they set up Gotenks versus Copy Vegeta. I mean, having Goku and Vegeta shoehorned into this mini arc sucks as is, but if you're gonna have a so-called copy villainous Vegeta, why not just let Gotenks have their moment? It's the same thing that sucks about the Piccolo episode. You have to let these characters have a moment to themselves. Why try to give the light to somebody else when you have somebody who you've yet to flesh out perfectly? How about use Gotenks to your advantage? But no, they're just there for like a screenshot and then they're never used for the remainder of this entire series, ironically enough. And this fight between Goku and Copy Vegeta just sucks. I don't know, it just continues into horrendousness. It's just terrible. Nothing good about this. So yeah, that was pretty much my top 5 list of the worst episodes of the Universe 6 Tournament Saga. It's very interesting looking back at these episodes. I really don't ever want to watch them again, and I do feel like if you ever want to watch these episodes, especially the Botafu arc, the only reason to ever rewatch this saga is especially in the English dub version. I will say this, Chris Sabat, he may say a lot of things in interviews and in his tweets on his Twitter which baffle the crap out of me, but I will give him credit here getting Brian Drummond to voice Copy Vegeta.
I want this duel to be a one-on-one stand-up fight. Kakarot, prepare to taste defeat at my hands.
That's basically the only kind of substance this episode has moving forward in terms of rewatchability. But with that being said, that's pretty much my top 5 list of the worst episodes. Let me know what your list is in the comment section below. If you agree or disagree, let me know in the comments. I hope you enjoyed. Of course, next week I'll be coming back with my top 5 best episodes of the Universe 6 saga. And of course, I'll be continuing on with the Trunks arc and then ending with the Universe Survival arc. But with that being said, I hope you enjoyed. Subscribe to my channel if you've not done so already. I'd really appreciate that. And of course, this has been Jonks12, and I'll see you all later.